Hey guys, Brian Karp Sales, Giant Karp Chronicles, week 24. Wow, what an insane week. So many amazing things, crazy things, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it all ended very, very positive, but scary at times. So first thing I'm going to start with happened on Friday. So every single year, myself and every other real estate agent in the United States of America submits all of their production to Real Trends in the Wall Street Journal. And what they do is they verify it, make sure it's legitimate, and then they decide who the number one agent is in New York State, in Long Island, in Florida, in Texas, in Arizona. And they have a few different categories, right? How big your team is a category. So they have small teams, medium teams, and large teams. And then they also have people do volume. That's like the price of houses, and then transactions. So for the last 5 years, the Brian Karp team has been the number one team. I was very concerned this year because some of you may or may not know, but I used to be one of the owners of Coach Real Estate. So when we sold the company and I was bought out and moved on to where I am today, I still had transactions, and sometimes some of these real estate development transactions I do take years for the closings to happen. So I actually had 11 transactions close with Coach in 2024, even though I've been done with that company for years. Real Trends and the Wall Street Journal would not allow us to count those, even though I sold them, I negotiated them, but because they closed under my old broker. So I was very concerned because sometimes it's neck and neck, but Friday night it came out, the email came out, and the Brian Karp team is still the number one real estate team in all of Long Island, New York. Now, in New York State, I'm number 8, which is huge. Out of every real estate team, the Brian Karp team is number 8 in New York State, but in Long Island, we're number 1. Now, this is my pet peeve. I know you guys are like, oh, Brian, you're number 1. Everyone's number 1, because everybody runs around and says, oh, I'm the number 1 real estate agent. I'm the number 1. Like, it's my pet peeve when people post it on social media or people put it on a postcard or a billboard. Like, you can't say that. And I don't really care that much, because if you notice our business, I rebranded it 2 years ago, and we don't even flex that we're the number 1 team. We flex that we're the highest review team and we're the most trusted team, because to me, that's what people really care about. If they can trust you and, are you always looking out for their best interest? And I am, because we have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Zillow and Google combined. But it's so funny, and it's such a pet peeve of myself and the people who I work with, because I work so hard to be the number 1 team, and then people just say it. So it's unbelievable. So anytime you guys see it, know that they're lying. All right, so that was always nice to hear that we're the number 1 team again. And and listen, I don't have 30 agents that work for me. I probably have like 8 agents that are really out there hustling and in the thick of things with me every single day. So it's not like I have this mega team of 50 agents. So that was huge. The funny thing was I wrote it on this list, and this is the 3rd time I'm doing the video, because the first time I did the video, I couldn't read what I wrote there. And you guys may or may not know I'm dyslexic. So I'm sitting there, and a lot of times I write things down and I can't go back and remember what it is, because I don't write words. I write like letters that usually trigger my brain. So that was video number 1. Then video number 2, I got through right to here, and then Jess comes running in the door, and one of our air handlers started making some crazy squeaky noise. So 3rd time I'm redoing this. Busy week real estate wise and real estate investment wise. So let's do real estate investment wise first. All right, so I closed my second single asset syndication in Tennessee. We closed our 56 unit, the Spring Valley or Hidden Valley apartments on 405 Spring Street in Dixon. 56 units. You normally would say the hardest part of being a syndicator is raising the capital to purchase it. It wasn't. Like this one, the capital came and it was great. We actually had to turn away almost $1 million and tell them they'll be ready for our next acquisition, which is exciting because I'll be out hustling that very soon. This one was very stressful for the last 72 hours to getting it to the closing table. We had some issues, not issues on our end, but just the company doing the financing, just started being a real pain in the butt to deal with at the end. And it ended up taking an extra 48 hours. So the seller was definitely not happy, but it got done. It closed. And I'm really happy to say we now have 107 units under management in Tennessee, our syndication, Future Gen REI. And this is something I started with my partner, Anthony, 18 months ago, less than 2 years ago. Idea, and we took action. So that was great. Long Island real estate, busy. Even though I feel like the market's a little soft right now, I just want to tell everyone, the market is a little soft. It's still a great time to sell, but just know that it's got to be priced right, it's got to be marketed right, and it's got to be with the right broker, because things are sitting and price adjustments are happening. 40 Birch, I just listed it in Lake Grove. I've sold the most houses in Lake Grove for 5 years straight, maybe even longer than that. So it's always so much fun to put a property on. And I've sold on this block, Birch, got to be a dozen houses. And this is like the third one in a row that I've sold, because I sold one over here, one over here, and one over here. Listed it for $670, 26 people in the open house, multiple offers. So excited to get them out of New York and to their new place. I have new construction coming this week, guys. Very exciting about this in Islip. Really, really cool property. I'll talk to you more about it next time. But new construction, and not like your builder's grade new construction, next level new construction. And this one has an accessory structure, legal accessory structure. So you could have an office. I don't think you can make it a legal rental, but it's a legal structure. So you're allowed to have the structure there. And so it could be an office, it could be a gym, it could be, if you're an attorney, if you're a CPA, you can use it. And I don't know if they could stop you from renting it. I don't know. Because it's not an apartment, it's a legal accessory structure. So I think that's kind of like a little gray area. I have 2 incredible luxury 3 Village properties hitting the market in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. So if you guys live in 3 Village, you're looking to move up and you say there's no good inventory, reach out to me. We got some really cool things. One of them is in 3 Village on the Lake Grove side. This house is almost 6,000 square feet. Real solar. That place is ridiculous. And then I have something in East Setauket on one of the nicest blocks, one of the nicest cul-de-sacs, and everything is brand new. They redid the kitchen, redid the bathrooms. Roof's only a few years old, and they didn't redo it to flip it. They redid it because they were gonna live there, and then it turned out they got a great opportunity to move. So this is like the house you guys wanna buy. And then a ton of closings. It was crazy. This is, we sold 71 Orchard in Kings Park. It's funny because this is a property that I put on the market, and we had a little trouble the first few weeks getting activity on it and getting offers. And that's why I tell my clients, don't make any rash decisions, usually for 30 days, because the real estate market's like an ocean, and waves come in and waves come out. First week or two, we put it on, we got some showings. A lot of people were saying, price too high, price too high. We got a lower offer, we got another lower offer, and then out of nowhere, 3 weeks into marketing the property, they got an offer above asking. They accepted it, and it was such a great couple. They built this house. I told you guys about this. My heart was warm to work with them and to get them the price they wanted. And now they're closed. I think they're handing over the keys on Monday. They're selling it to a young couple who is obsessed with the house. So I love that part of real estate. Also, I could do Karp Chronicles just about my clients. This one's great. I sold 521 Benjamin, and these are clients that were referred to me years ago through Dave Ramsey because I'm his Suffolk County ELP. I sold their property in Rocky Point. They made a few $100,000 worth of equity. They rolled it into a property in North Babylon. They stayed there for another few years. They had a huge amount of equity in that one. I just sold that. They just closed it. And I think they're going to Ohio, and they just bought their next house cash with all of the equity flipping. It's been like a decade, right? Rocky Point, I think they made a few hundred. Well, West Babylon, they made a few hundred, and then they bought their forever house back home in Ohio, cash. Isn't that the most insane thing about real estate? That's why I love this asset class so much. And then I closed the property in St. James that I can't pronounce because I'm dyslexic. I think it was Tuttle or Tittle. So busy, 3 closings is always an amazing week. It's 3 clients I got to help. And then also I have another property in the development I was telling you guys about, the South Setauket Village Greens. These are single family houses, in an HOA. There's 82 of them in this. This one I'm listing for $725. In the middle of the development, great condition, not super updated, but really well kept. So I'm excited about that. Just a really busy week. So let's make sure I covered everything. We did. We had, just to recap it, subscribe, like, comment. I don't know if anyone watches these, so if you could please comment. And someone called me an egghead. I do have an egghead, but I kind of like my bald head. Can you believe that? And I left that hater up there. Feel good about yourself. So to recap, just a lot of emotion. I didn't know if we were going to win the number one team again. I didn't know if the closing in Dixon was going to happen. It was very, very stressful, the 72 hours during trying to get it closed. And then just a ton of people reaching out to us, needing their help to sell the house, and then getting 3 people to the finish line. Great week. It's Sunday. I feel calm now because the week's over and ready for Monday and get after it. All right. Everyone have a fantastic week, and I will see you on the next Karp Chronicle.